Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw here, and today I'd like to not just kind of review a product, but also review customer service. It's one thing to have a great product, and it's one thing to have a bad product, but how you handle issues when something may go wrong could be a one-off error with the product, could be user error, and how you explain it. Whoops, we got a little visitor here. Come on. That's so important to me when dealing with companies, whether it be the product itself or it's the company distributing a product, how they handle things. Well, today we're talking about Blackout Defense, and recently purchased the second trigger. I did a review on their trigger. Fabulous trigger. Highly recommend it. If you're going to get a drop-in trigger, go that route. Blackout Defense Zero trigger is just incredible. I'm a novice when it comes to trigger, and I'll be honest, when people talk about things like the creep and slop and all, I just know if it feels good or not. And this trigger is the best one I've felt. And the first one, I didn't put any anti-walk pins in it, and it was recommended to me by a friend that I was showing the gun to. So I purchased the second drop-in trigger from Blackout Defense and ordered 2 sets of the triggers, any walk pins. And I put the second trigger in this build right here. It's a Sharps, the Jack skull lower. And I wanted to do a nice high-end build with it, and I thought that's the perfect trigger to put in this. And I was going to use the pins, but they were just very tight going in. I didn't want to take a chance on marring anything, so I backed out of using the pins. I tried loosely putting them in a couple other lowers to see how they fit on those if it was just with this, and there was a couple of problems. They fit great in the Sequence Precision that I put the first Blackout Zero trigger in. So I used the pins in that one, and just kind of tossed those aside, and I went with these Elfman ones. Not a big fan of these. They're kind of difficult to put on, and you can scuff up your receiver if you're not careful putting those on. So got an email from Blackout Defense, typical type email you get from a company after you purchase a product, and asked me to review it. Well, I put my review on their website, and it was a little negative because had trouble getting the pins in, and just kind of left it at that. And lo and behold, I got a phone call from Blackout Defense today. Now, they don't know who I am. They don't know I had a YouTube channel. They're just a person who left a comment on their website, for the review, and they take that serious, which is very important, that they reach out to a customer that had difficulty with the product. Well, he explained to me, come on, fella, you want to get on camera today. The tolerance, why it's such a tight tolerance with these, and it's because the trigger needs that. You don't want to have this trigger having any slop movement because of the pins, and so they purposely make these to be a tight fit. And he explained to me, put a little oil on them and kind of screw them in place or tap them lightly, and they will go in. Like I said, I didn't want to take a chance with this lower at that time. And but what he said made sense, because I've had another pair that I tried that were a tight fit but not as tight, and I kind of did a similar thing. So the way that a company reaches out and explains the great conversation. We probably talked for 20-30 minutes. And you're talking about his trigger and, what goes into it. And it is, a pleasure to have a company stand behind their products and have that type of customer service. you know, I think I put the review on yesterday or Saturday, I forget which day, and he called me today. So he's, you know, going to send me out, because they also make a slightly smaller version. He says those will work if you're doing the Aero Precision or Daniel Defense lowers, because they're very tight. So the smaller ones will work better on those, and I have a couple of Aero Precision lowers coming in, so they'll definitely get a good use on those. But, you know, he explained to me with, you know, your normal lowers that, you know, they'll go in just the process to do it. And I'm going to get this lower Cerakoted, you know, try and make it look cool and badass, you know, since it's got a badass trigger in it now. And I will replace these Elfman when I have to take everything out of it to get it Cerakoted with the second set of the Blackout Defense anti-walk pins. So definitely, you know, if you're going to spend money on a company that cares that much about its product is one that you want to throw your money at. Because if you have a problem with their trigger, they're going to do something about it. If you have a problem with simple roll plans, you know, they're going out of their way to make a phone call to make sure that you're happy. You know what? I'm damn happy now, because I like that. That's the most important to me, is the way a company will go out of their way to make things right. You know, even when there really technically isn't anything wrong. You know, he explained the process, and he's right. You know, it makes total sense. I just didn't want to chance it with this, and you know, so you know, they definitely got my business. I'm going to be buying probably 1 or 2 more triggers for upcoming builds. So you know, it's the only trigger I want to use now. I don't think there's any, you know, reason to go with a, you know, Timney, Geisley. You know, there's so many out there. This one I think is the one to go with. And you know, when I see customer service like that, it's absolutely, you know, I've dealt with some good companies. You know, I would say probably 90% of the companies in this industry are pretty good, but how many go out of the way to call you that quickly? It was pretty impressive. So, you know, and one other thing he said with the trigger too, it does even have a break-in period. He says, I think it was, you know, go through about 200 to 400 rounds, you're going to start to feel some improvement in the trigger, which is kind of astounding. And even like, you know, every several, like I think he said like 6,000 increments, if I remember right, you also see a different stage of break-in with the trigger. And we talked about the MP3 coating, and you know, he explained the advantages of that. So I'm going to probably give that trigger a try with my next one, and give that a go. He thinks that's probably about an 18 to 20% improvement on an already great trigger, which I find that amazing. Well, hope this helps you out, and definitely, you know, consider Blackout Defense when you're looking for a trigger. And you know, if you have a problem with the roll pins, call them up. They'll walk you through installing them if you're a little leery with how tight they are. So, Two Gun Kitty signing off.